Well, I was blessed to be raised by wonderful parents, and I think that at a very young age, I made a decision that I wanted to be in the people business.
Well, is positive attitude contagious? You may know those types of people that when they come into a room, the room brightens up a little bit. You may know those types of people when they leave the room brightens up a lot. You want to make sure you're on the right side of that fence, right? So, what are all the things that you have to do on a consistent basis? What are all the things that members and the board, everybody has to do together to make this thing a success? So how do we constantly improve? How do we make sure we're being productive, not just busy, and we're not in this rocking chair mode, but we're actually moving where? Forward. Whether we move an inch or a mile doesn't matter as long as we're moving forward.
We want you to create a plan that's right for you, using the PEP formula that will make sure you get from where you are today to where it is you want to go.
So let's talk about how we develop. Once we get to here, what does this look like? And I call it a skills transfer process. Just to keep it simple, if you're transferring skill, transferring knowledge, there's really 5 things that have to happen. A lot of times, we believe mentally that the world revolves around us. Got on the plane, and the pilot came over and said this. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be just a little bit delayed getting out of Dallas," which if you ever flew commercial, you know that this is just part of the game, right? So the guy next to me absolutely blows a gasket. And I look at him and I go, "What is the problem?" And he goes, "Did you hear what the pilot just said?" I go, "Yes, I heard him." He goes, "Well, what does that mean to you?" And I said, "Well, what that means to me is we're just going to take off a little bit later than what we had planned." "What does that mean to you?" And he said, "I hate American Airlines. I absolutely hate American Airlines. Every time I fly into Dallas, if my first plane is late, I miss my connector. If my first plane's on time, my connection's late." So I looked at him and I said, "I know why that is." And he looked at me and said, "You do?" And I said, "Yes. American Airlines, who flies to 477 destinations every single day, routes their planes just to screw you." The world revolves right around here. So the goal here is not to leave thinking that we've got it all figured out, but figure about the ways that not just what I've talked about, but what you've also learned not just from the program, but from other people around, how you can take all of this and actually go out and put it into practice and execute. Just keep moving forward. It's not always going to be rosy. It's not always going to be a great picture, but as long as we're doing the things to be productive, to make sure ourselves, our chapter, our members are moving in the right direction, everybody will benefit. This thing will continue to grow, and life will continue to move forward. So from me to you, I appreciate the time this morning. Hopefully you did too. Thank you, guys.
There's a big difference between theory and execution. I think we would all agree with that. Theory is one thing. Knowing what we should do. We all know we should probably eat better if we want our health to improve. We all know that we should probably save a little bit of money. But doing it is 2 different things. So we're going to move from the theory to the execution. At the Chad Carden Group, we see ourselves as a success company, but more importantly, we see ourselves as an execution company. We're not out there talking theory. We're out there putting plans in place and helping companies and individuals execute so they reach their definition of success.